Hello everyone, and once again I welcome you all at Nagesh Karzgi Orchid School TV channel. Students, as you know that in our previous lesson we studied all about different types of organ systems in our body. In that topic we studied about the skeletal system and muscular system. Now in our today's session we are going to start the new lesson of the science, that is the nervous system, and in this lesson we have to study about the nervous system. Then we have to study about the parts of the nervous system, that are the brain, the spinal cord and the nerves. Then we have to study about the functions of the brain, the spinal cord and the nerves. After that we have to study about the reflex actions, and at last we have to study about the sense organs in our body. That, as you know that we have five sense organs, and we have to do study about that in detail. Now let us see the first point of the topic, that is the nervous system. So let us see about the first point. What is the nervous system and the main organs in the nervous system? Students, as we know that our body consists of several organ systems. For example, skeletal system, muscular system, digestive system, reproductive system, excretory system, etc. There are total 8 types of organ systems in our body, and in our previous session we studied in detail about the skeletal system and the nervous system. As we know that they are working differently, means they perform different functions for our body. They perform different functions for our body, and that all organ systems are controlled by one separate organ system. That 8 organ systems are controlled by one separate organ system, which is called as the nervous system. So what is meant by nervous system? The system that controls all other systems. All other systems means that 8 organ systems like skeletal system, muscular system, etc. of our body are called as the nervous system. The system that controls all other systems of the body are called as the nervous system. So the system that controls all other organ systems of the body is called the nervous system, and the nervous system is made up of different organs. It is made up of different organs. It consists 3 parts, that are the brain, then the spinal cord, and it also have the different types of nerves. So that 3 organs made up the nervous system. Now let us see how these 3 works togetherly. That means to perform the function of our nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord and the nerves works togetherly, and we have to study about that, how exactly they work. So first of all, the nerves carry the messages. What happens in first step? The nerves in our body carries the messages from all the parts of your body to the brain, and these messages afterwards, these messages carried through the spinal cord. First of all, nerves carry the messages from all the parts of your body to the brain, and these messages then carried through the spinal cord. Then in the next step what happens? The organ, that is the brain, will do study about all these messages. As we know that there are so many questions, so many thoughts in that are going on in our mind. So our brain do study about them and decide what actions has to be taken, and finally in final step brain sends the instruction to the organ system. After the study, the brain sends the instruction to the organ system through the spinal cord and nerves. So in this way all of these working togetherly. But whenever we think about that process, we are thinking it is a complicated process, but it takes only fraction of second for its completion. That means it hardly a fraction of second process, and for when you run, the brain sends instruction to the circulatory system and the respiratory system to work faster. So, in other words, we can say that the nervous system controls all of the sense organs in our body. Nervous system also controls your sense organs. That means, it controls our eyes, nose, action of our ears, tongue, skin, etc. For example, if your eyes need the help, for example, our eyes need the help of the nervous system to see. Similarly, the other sense organs like the ear, like the tongue, nose, also the skin, they also need the help of nervous system to work properly. And from this we can say that without of the nervous system, we cannot do anything, else. So, in this way these three organs work togetherly. So, in this way these three organs in our nervous system works together. Now, let us see about each of these organ in detail. As we know that organ system is made up of the brain, the spinal cord and the nerves. So, we have to study about that in detail. Now, first of all we will be looking about the most important organ in our nervous system, that is the brain. Before that I will show you here, this is the nervous system and these are the parts of the nervous system. So, first part is the brain, here it is situated, then this red color part is the spinal cord and these blue colored wire like structures are all the nerves that are present in our body. So, nervous system is made up of brain, spinal cord and different types of nerves. So, let us see about the first part of the nervous system, that is the brain. So, the brain is the most important and the most remarkable organ in our body. Bone is the most important and remarkable organ in our body and it is protected by the skull. Students, as we know that the skull is made up of bones and bones in the skull protects the brain. And when we see the brain, it looks like a walnut. So, what is meant by walnut? Walnut is the one type of dry fruit. And it looks exactly like a brain. That means, the structure of walnut is similar like a brain and it is also the control center of our whole body. That means, the brain is the control center of our whole body. It means, it controls everything that goes in our body. Then the brain, the another most important characteristic of our brain is that it can store a lot of information. And also recall this information whenever you need it. For example, as we know that we do study about lots of things every day, we learn lots of things every day. Like the same, we do study for our exam. That means, you do study for an exam, then you study about different questions, different things, different chapters, etc. And at the same time, whenever you do study, at the same time that information or the things that you studied is getting stored in your brain. Where that information getting stored? That is stored in your brain. And whenever that questions are coming in your exam, then at that time what happens? You will be able to write the answer for that questions. Why this is? Because this is because of your brain. That means, your brain helps you in recalling such information about the particular questions, and what you are reading or what you are learning right now, that also is getting stored in your brain. That means now you are watching the TV, now you are watching the lesson on your TV, that information from the lesson also getting stored in your brain. So this is called as the memory. What is mean by memory? What is mean by memory? Storing and recalling information is called as memory. Storing and recalling information about something is called as memory. Now we have to see about the main regions of our brain. So the brain has three regions. The brain has three regions, that are the cerebrum, then we have the cerebellum, and at last we have the brainstem. So here in this picture you can see, this is the picture of human brain. This largest part is the cerebrum, and this part, this golden color part, is the cerebellum, and this stem like structure is the brainstem. So this is the picture of human brain. In this picture you can see these three regions of the brain. So our brain has three main regions, and we have to study about that in detail. So the first region in our brain is the cerebrum. First region in our brain is the cerebrum. Here in this picture you can see this is the human brain, and here this entire colored part, this different types of different colors part, this is the pink color, yellow color, blue color and green color, this all colored part, this entire part of the brain region is the cerebrum. This entire region, this entire part of the brain is the cerebrum. So this is the largest part of your brain. That means it is the largest part of your brain. Which is the largest part of your brain? The cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of your brain, and it also controls, it is the largest part, as well as this is the thinking part of our brain. It is the thinking part of our brain, and it also controls your memory, thoughts, intelligence, reading, learning, speech, emotions, and also our sense organs. Sense organs means nose, eyes, etc. And that cerebrum is divided into two cerebral halves. Two cerebral halves. That is the left half and the right half. In this picture you can see left half and the right half. So that is divided into two cerebral part, and but the work of these two cerebral is opposite to each other. That means the right half controls the left side of the body, and the left half controls the right side of the body. Ever you see that the left handed batsman is more intelligent than the right hand batsman. Why? Because our cerebrum and the part of cerebrum work oppositely. And whenever you think about the human cerebrum, that means in case of humans the cerebrum is bigger than in most other animals. Cerebrum in the humans is bigger than other animals, and that is why the humans can think properly than other animals. As you see that dog is thinking, cat is thinking, buffalo is thinking. No, only humans can think. Why? Because cerebrum is bigger in humans than other animals, and also humans are most intelligent than other animals. So why this is? Because this is due to our cerebrum. So this is about our cerebrum. Now look at the next region of the brain, that is the cerebellum. Pronunciation is similar like cerebrum and cerebellum, but little bit difference is there. Cerebellum, don't be confused. First one is the cerebrum and the second one is the cerebellum. So, here in this picture of the brain, you can see this is the region of the brain and this is the cerebellum. This is the cerebrum and this green colored part is the cerebellum. Green colored part is the cerebellum and we are studying about the cerebellum, this green colored part. So, this is found at the back of our head. So, if you see this part, this is the back of our head, this is the back side of our head and this is the cerebellum. This is the cerebellum and it also do very important function. It is do very important function for our body, that it controls the movement of your muscles and helps you to keep your balance. What is the function of that cerebellum? That it controls the movement of muscles in our body as well as helps to maintain our balance of the body. For example, we are able to walk, we are able to stand straight. Why? Because our cerebellum control the movement in our body and so we can stand straight, we can walk straight or we can balance our body. So, this is about the cerebellum. So, where that cerebellum is found? This is found at the back of your head below the cerebrum. Keep that in mind. Where is the cerebellum? Cerebellum is found at the back of your head below the cerebrum. Now, see about the third region of our brain, that is the brainstem, or we also call them as the medulla. Here in this picture you can see this region, this yellow colored region of our brain is the brainstem. Brainstem here in this picture, this yellow color stick like part is the brainstem and it is also called as the medulla. What is the another name of brainstem? The medulla. And the brainstem is the lower part of the brain. Here in this picture you can see the cerebrum is the upper part, cerebellum is in the middle part and the brainstem is at the lower part of the brain and it joins the brain to the spinal cord. Here in this picture you can see the brainstem is the lower part of the brain and it joins the brain to the spinal cord. Here you can see in this picture that brainstem is joined to the spinal cord from here, from this region, from here. And like the cerebrum and cerebellum, it also has a specific job. Its job is different and very important. Why? Because that it controls all the involuntary actions. As we know that we studied about the involuntary muscles. The muscles which are not in our control are the involuntary muscles and that involuntary muscles or the actions of that involuntary muscles are controlled by this brainstem. That means, its important function is that it controls involuntary actions such as swallowing, breathing and circulation, etc. Like that, so many actions in our body that are not in our control. Out of them, that first one is the swallowing and breathing and the circulation, that is controlled by the brainstem. So, this is about the three different regions of the brain, that the cerebellum, cerebrum and the brainstem. Now, we have to study about the second part of the nervous system. These three are the parts of the brain. What are the parts of the brain? That cerebrum, cerebellum and the brain are the parts of the brain. Now, and brain is the first part of the nervous system. Now, we have to study about the second part of the nervous system. that is the spinal cord. Spinal cord. Here in this picture you can see this is the spinal cord, this, and this is situated in the vertebral column. This is the spinal cord, and it is the thick bundle of nerves. Here you can see this is the thick bundle of nerves, and that are connected to the brainstem here, that are connected to the brainstem here, and in this region it is connected to the brainstem, and it goes down your back here. From here you can see it goes down to your back, and it is protected by the vertebrae that we studied in our last lesson, that spinal cord is getting protected by the vertebral column. So, here it goes down to your back, and it is protected by the vertebrae of your spine, or we can say that vertebral column, and several nerves will emerge means to appear or to coming out. Here you can see several, so many nerves are coming out, emerging out from this spinal cord, and there it forms the network. Here you can see this is the network like structure, this is the network of nerves, and all that network is spread all over your body. Here in this picture you can see that the different nerves are emerging or coming out from it, and it forms the network through all over your body. So, this is about the spinal cord. Now, see about the third part of the nervous system, that is the nerves. So, here in this picture also and in this picture also you can see these different types of nerves. This yellow colored wire like structure is the nerves that are present in our body. So, here in this picture you can see the network of nerves that are present in all over your body. Here this line shows, these lines mean this yellow color line shows the network of our nerves in our body, and all the messages travel to and from your brain through the nerves. Where does the messages travel? All messages travel to and from the brain through these nerves. So, this is the function of the nerves. So, basically these nerves are act like a telephone wire or the electrical wire that carry messages between the brain, and electrical wire carries the current from main switch to any other switch, and they are working or they are carrying messages between the brain and the body. And there are three different types of nerves that are present in our body, such as the sensory nerves, then we have the motor nerves, and at last we have the mixed nerves. So, these are the three types of nerves that are present in our body. So, see about the types of nerves in detail. So, first of all we will be seeing about the sensory nerves. So, first of all we will see about the first type of the nerves, that is the sensory nerves. Sensory nerves basically controls all our sensory organs, such as it controls our eyes, it controls the movement of ears, it also controls the action of nose, tongue, and also our skin, and that is why its name is the sensory nerves. And they also carry messages from the sense organs to your spinal cord and brain. What is the function of sensory nerves? They carry messages from the sense organs to your spinal cord and brain. So, this is the main function of our sensory nerves. So, the nerves which carry messages from the sense organs to our spinal cord and brain are called as the sensory nerves, and afterwards that brain studies the messages and tells our body or other organs what your sense organs have seen, or what he heard, what tasted, smelt or felt. But sensory nerves can carry messages in one direction only. Sensory nerves can carry messages only in one direction. So, this is about the sensory nerves. What are the sensory nerves? The nerves that carry messages from the sense organs to your spinal cord and brain, and also controls our sense organs. These are the sensory nerves. So, second type of nerves is that motor nerves. Motor nerves. And basically motor is the movement. What is the motor nerves, or the meaning of motor is the movement. So, the motor nerves are responsible for the movement, that all the movement are controlled by our motor nerves. That is why motor nerves are responsible for the movements in our body, and motor nerves carry orders from the brain. What the motor nerves do? What is the function of motor nerves? They carry orders from the brain and spinal cord to the rest of the body, telling them what to do. Motor nerves carry orders from the brain and the spinal cord to the rest of the body parts, such as the muscles and glands, to telling how to react or what to do. For example, if your sensory nerves report that your eyes have seen that you are about to hit a pillar at the time of climbing the stairs, your eyes have seen that you are about to hit a pillar, then what happens? Your brain, that means the brain immediately sends within a fraction of second, it sends a message through the motor nerves. It sends a message through the motor nerves to your leg muscles to get out of the way. So, due to that we can save ourselves from getting the injury. So, this is the function of motor nerves, and like the sensory nerves, motor nerves also carry messages in only one direction. So, this is the motor nerves. At last, we have the third type of nerves, that is the mixed nerves. So, the name itself suggests that these nerves do the function of both the sensory and the motor nerves. The name itself suggests that the nerves do the function of both the sensory and motor nerves, and they can carry messages in both direction. Mixed, keep that in mind. Sensory nerves and motor nerves can carry messages in one direction only, but mixed nerves can carry messages in both the directions. It means they carry messages between the sensory nerve cells as well as motor nerve cells, and sensory nerves are present in the brain. Where it is present? They are present in the brain and the spinal cord, and these are the only two places, that means the brain and the spinal cord are the only two places where you will find the mixed nerves. So, this is all about the different nerves in our body. Now, in the next part or in the next session, we have to study about the reflex action and the remaining part, that is the sense organs in our body. So, here we conclude our session with this point. If anybody have the doubt regarding the session, you can ask your doubts in our doubt solving session. Thank you.